This video in particular is going to be a little bit strange and a little bit different than my other typical videos. For instance, usually I'm talking about something PlayStation's doing or something that Xbox is doing, and it kind of just snowballs from there. This particular video, I actually think, this was a smart move and a good thing for Microsoft to do. Going out there and going out of your way to apologize, I feel like, is a very clever idea. It's going to get people maybe feeling a little bit more sympathetic for what you've done in the long run. And I feel like, PlayStation fans are just going to have to pony up, so to speak, and figure out a way to play the games that Bethesda makes one way or the other. You know what I mean? There's multiple options. Obviously, you probably don't want to stream games, but there's still other options, and there's still different things you can do, and you have to kind of keep that in mind going forward. I do want to get this going, though, so let's go ahead and get started. Slap that like button. What's up, everybody? Crapgamer here with Crapgamer Reviews with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that. It helps out the channel, and it means a lot to me personally. Anyway, basically Bethesda has apologized to PlayStation fans for Xbox exclusivity. First of all, this is what I want to say. I have seen a lot of salty Xbox fans say, why are they apologizing to PlayStation? PlayStation studios don't apologize for making exclusive to PlayStation, and my retort to that would be, PlayStation studios don't have 20 years of making multi-platform games and millions of fans on other platforms. So I think that right there is probably the biggest difference. You don't see Sony, for the most part, buying studios that are making multi-plats. Now, you might go, oh, we got you now, crap. We got you're a wacky one, CG. You're a wacky one. What about Insomniac Games? Insomniac Games made one multi-plat for EA. Okay, everything else they've made has been pretty much exclusive to PlayStation, and then Sunset Overdrive was exclusive to Xbox. So, yeah, not the same thing. Whereas Bethesda Studios has made nothing but, multi-plat games, and games that haven't been enjoyed by a lot of people. So, if I were just a hardcore PlayStation fanboy, I'm not, by the way. I own both consoles. I would probably be okay with missing out on the Bethesda games because I have just found them to be very mid for a long time. So it wouldn't be a big deal to me. But if I absolutely was like, man, Starfield's getting 10 out of 10s everywhere, I would just get an Xbox. Like, honestly, there's multiple. Like, look, a Series S, for instance, $300. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? Play these games. It's going to be a pretty good way to play the game. I never understood people complaining about that. Exclusives are important to ecosystems. They're important to the competition factor. So Pete Hines actually apologized, though I wanted to get into this. Bethesda's SVP of Global Marketing, Pete Hines, appeared on GameSpot Play for All yesterday, and he opened up about the subject of Xbox exclusivity for games like Starfield and Redfall, and presumably the Elder Scrolls 6 whenever it comes out in 2030. That's just me adding that. First of all, he echoed the sentiment of Bethesda Game Studios executive producer Todd Howard, and that the narrower focus will help developers making these titles. And this is what Pete Hines had to say, and I quote, "It wasn't a consideration until we bought by Xbox, and then as part of Xbox we looked at what we're doing. It is going to be exclusive on PC and within the Xbox ecosystem. And I think it's important to phrase it like that, only because recently, within the last week, Phil has talked about how they're looking to expand that, and other ways that we're looking to bring Xbox gaming to folks who don't own a Series X, or even S, or even a PC, but maybe want to play the kinds of games that we're bringing to Game Pass and we're bringing to Xbox. So, wherever and however that Xbox ecosystem expands, obviously, we're excited about that." The other thing you ask about is, what is the impact on development? Well, I'm here to tell you, and Eddie Dev will tell you this, you go to fewer platforms and your development gets more streamlined. You're not worrying about how well does it work on the Xbox versus how well does it work on that box. We're not making it on that box, so it just needs to run as well as possible on this one, and on a PC. Narrow focus always helps. The same is true for a way of game like Deathloop. When we decided to do a partnership with Sony, and that game became exclusive to that platform, that development got more streamlined because we said PlayStation 5 and PC, that's what we're focusing on. I think in a way that it does free up developers a little bit in terms of what they're going to try to get things and do the best game they can do, and you have fewer to choose from, it's going to go a little bit better. So again, basically what he's saying here is when you have fewer platforms to make a game for, you're going to get a better game. And this is something that I've been saying for a very long time, where people are like on and on about multiplats and things like that. The reason why exclusive games look the way they do and are usually the showpieces that they are is because flat out, these are being developed on fewer platforms. So, a God of War on a base PS4 that's why that looks so good compared to pretty much anything Microsoft has created, no matter how powerful their console. So, that's something very, very critical to the line of thinking going forward if you're Bethesda, being able to go out there and do that. Now, later on in the chat, he expressed sympathy for those PlayStation fans who may feel left behind because of the newfound Xbox exclusivity, and even apologize for it. However, ultimately, it's not his choice. Pete Hines said this, and I quote, "I understand. If you're unhappy or pissed or whatever, I get it. Those are real feelings and frustrations. How should you deal with that? I haven't the foggiest idea. I would never presume to say, oh, here's how you can make it better and feel better. At the same time, there's only so much I can spend on being focused on what we're not doing. I'm trying to focus on how we are making it for these other platforms, and how is that going to be, where are we going to be, and when we're ready to talk about it. I don't know how to allay the fears and concerns of PlayStation 5 fans, other than to say I'm a PlayStation 5 player as well, and I've played games on that console, and there's games I'm going to continue to play on it. But if you want to play on Starfield, it's PC and Xbox, sorry. All I can really say is I apologize, because I'm certain that it's frustrating to folks, but there's not a whole lot I can do about it. Indeed, obviously, Microsoft wants to capitalize on its big $7.5 billion acquisition, even though this year's new Bethesda titles, Deathloop, on September 14th, and Ghostwire Tokyo, if it doesn't slip into 2022, are both timed PlayStation 5 exclusives. So we won't even be able to launch onto an Xbox for at least a year afterwards. So that's per the deal or whatever, and that's something that's going to that a lot of people are going to have to kind of keep into consideration as things kind of go along. But again, I find it to be very, very interesting that a lot of people are talking about this. First of all, I don't think that he should apologize, to be honest with you. Why apologize to, fans and things like that? It does, listen, it's business. A company bought exclusives. It is what it is, I don't understand that part of it. People will get over it. There's multiple ways to play these games other than Xbox. And I think that people will probably get over this pretty quickly, and I feel like it's something that is a big talking point right now. But when games start rolling in and we start getting the God of War Ragnaroks and the Gran Turismo 7s on PlayStation 5, I don't think they're going to be really worried about some of these other titles that Bethesda are making, because like I said, Bethesda has been they've made some decent titles, and I know it's just opinion. You have to keep that in mind. When I say this, I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm speaking for myself specifically. Microsoft, they picked up a studio that has made some titles that have really underperformed lately, and I think that that's probably what my main idea is when it comes to this kind of stuff. It's pretty clear that stuff that was happening on the Xbox side, or on the side where we see this with Bethesda, honestly, when you look at it, the games were very much underperforming. You can look at stuff like Evil Within or Evil Within 2, and those games really underperformed. And when we look at some things like you can look at anything. Prey, what did they do? Dishonored 2 or whatever. And again, those games really underperformed. Even Wolfenstein underperformed, and that's probably why there's not another Wolfenstein in development right now. I know people thought that there was, due to rumors and things like that, but the honest truth is, Wolfenstein underperformed, and the last one scored incredibly poorly in terms of what it scored critically, and also in terms of sales. So yeah, I can understand why they weren't really happy, and they weren't really super excited to kind of do another one. But yeah, again, PlayStation fans will figure something out. They always do. Xbox fans, I think that it's a little bit funny, because, you know, at first it's gatekeeping and puffing your feathers at exclusives, and, you know, now it's like, oh well, we got this game and this game, and it's like, okay, I've been telling you that exclusives are where it's at. You're just now figuring it out. So to me, that's a little bit funny. But I would appreciate it if you guys would please like this video, share it out, slap that like button, slap it. This has been Crap Gaming with another video. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.